Welcome, listeners. Welcome back to the dance floor. I have a unique guest today, and we're going to be talking all about travel and how that relates to dancing and how we can better ourselves and our trips. Stay tuned. Ciao, I'm Anna Harsh, professional dancer, author, and host of the Dance Floor podcast, the podcast that offers you advice, tips, and unique ways to find those life lessons that improve our lives. So grab your dance shoes and join me on the dance floor. Hey, listeners. Okay, my special guest here is Chrissy Pircio. Chrissy, welcome to the dance floor.
Hi, Anna. Nice to be here. Hi, everybody.
We have been chatting back and forth. You have a unique company that we're going to talk about. It's called Footsteps Through Time in Italy. As a company owner myself, I know how hard it is to start a business. Oh my goodness, there's so many steps and things to do. So, Chrissy, give us a little rundown. Like, how did you create your business and why did you create it?
Absolutely. So we're doing this in Italy because I am of Italian descent on both sides of my family and am a passionate learner of the language. And I've been fortunate enough to reconnect with a lot of my family in Italy. And it's really helped my language skills and everything too, because I'm in these remote places in, the truest part of Italy, not so touristy and whatnot, living in these villages with them while I'm visiting. And it's really helped me grow in that. And I thought, let me recreate this for others. That's where this idea came from. So essentially, in my father's village, which is not too far from Rome itself. So it's very relatively easy to get to from the main airport there in Rome. But it's a small, medieval, charming hilltop village. Talk to the town and whatnot, and they have agreed to allow us to have about a week-long session where you live in while you're in the village itself. So we have like morning language lessons, but we are there for the week enjoying excursions of the local areas in the afternoon. So really getting to a chance to practice this, to know the people, to go to the cafes in town and whatnot, and really kind of feel just like you're living it. Because of course,
Yeah.
language is not a static thing; it's a dynamic thing you have to live. So this is where this comes from. So it's my passion for my heritage and my learning the language and what I, as a learner, not only crave but have been fortunate enough to experience, even if I didn't try to, just because I was with my family. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the gist of where it came from and how we decided to start this business, try to help others reach their goals as well.
And you're right. You have to be immersed into it. When I learned the dances, Zoom is one thing, and that's great to learn the steps and pick it up. But to be immersed in the culture, no matter what style of dance you study, to be immersed in a culture really helps you understand the language, like you said, understanding the dances. For me, it was completely different. Once I arrived in Italy and I got a chance to dance with my family, with unique teachers, to be immersed in hearing the sounds of the tambourine or the accordion or guitarra, or, just the whistles and yells that tell the dancers to change directions or change a move. It's different. You feel the energy. And that's why I think your program will really thrive, because when you're there, you feel the energy. You have the tempo of what it's like to be truly Italian. And you're learning the language every day. You're getting the sights and sounds, and of course, the smells and the food. So I can't see how this could be wrong. This is right outside of Rome that you'll be located with. How many students can you take at a time? 12?
So where the max is 10, but we're going to do several sessions a year once everything gets ramped up. So there'll be plenty of chances.
Okay.
But to keep it manageable, because we need to be able to juggle, everyone's going to be at a different level of their language learning.
Right.
So the teacher needs to be able to manage that. So 10 maximum at the moment, and then she can break them up into the lower and the, more intermediate and higher levels. That way she can work with those groups. So that way it's fair enough for everybody and everyone can get the most out of it. But I agree with what you were saying, as we spoke in the past, that dance is not just about the steps and language isn't just about the words. There's all of this history and culture and everything that comes in with both of them. That's why we make so much sense together, Hannah. But it does. It takes you through the whole journey and how important history is and where these things came from. And I know with me, with learning the language, that when I first started, it was, maybe about words, but now I've grown into much more feeling, as you said before, feeling, whether it's with the music and the dance or with the language, feeling it, feeling the culture with me as it's speaking through me
Right.
with the words that I'm choosing and whatnot. It becomes more than just the plain things of just the words or just the steps, but
And
just
for
the
me, the
whole movement as
language,
well.
it has that melodic tone to it.
Absolutely.
It's very sing-songy.
Mhm.
And you hear there is a rhythm to the language. And the
Absolutely.
rhythm also reflects those same rhythms that we do with our feet in the dancing.
Mhm.
So I
Absolutely.
can totally understand why that would be a very good connection. And Chrissy and I have been talking about connecting and collaborating, and maybe we will do a dance class before your first group heads over to Rome and give them a little taste of what it's to come, perhaps. You
Oh,
know,
it'd be wonderful. Yeah, that's
maybe a
something that
night of
maybe.
dance and music and language and, talking about what to expect. Now, speaking of, I travel a lot and so do you. So I think we're good experts on travel tips. What can we tell people, when you are heading out to another country, how to pack or maybe what to expect? Do you have some travel tips or advice?
Well, a couple of things, even when you're just searching for the tickets, because right now the airlines are not being extremely friendly with people. So one of the things that a little trick is that when you're searching, because they put all those cookies on you and then the prices change on you. So I have found that if you do it in the private window when you're searching for the actual tickets, it may help you not have those surprises with the prices so that
Right.
they don't, because once they realize what you're looking for, those prices I've noticed go up. So it's
Sure.
one little tip, but if you do it in the private window, it helps with that. As far as
Yeah.
when you're booking, as far as when you're actually traveling, now they're changing a bunch of rules with carry-ons and things because we've always done it with carry-ons to try to not, be charged. And now I heard that some airlines are getting rid of carry-ons and they're just having these personal items, which is really just like a purse or a backpack and things. So it becomes a little tight for some people if you're traveling in families or whatnot, but it's something to be aware of. So before you are going, all the airlines have different rules at this point for what you can and cannot bring on so you don't get surprises with prices. So I suggest to look ahead
Yeah,
of that as well so that
for
you
sure.
think accordingly for your budget even. Those are
Yeah,
two
I
big
know
things.
when I went just a year or so ago,
Mhm.
my husband and I only took a backpack and I had one large purse. And the large purse really was empty on the way there. It was so that I could bring instruments back. I,
Mhm.
bought a large drum and castanets for different dances that are all handmade. And I wanted to have an empty bag, honestly, to
Right.
bring back, your mementos and your souvenirs and everything that you want to purchase. My advice always when people are traveling, especially to Europe, is don't bring so much.
Yeah.
It's best to bring a few outfits. Don't get me wrong, you have to have the first couple of days covered. Bring a few outfits and those essentials, but buy things there. Their perfumes and face creams and beauty products and things like that are so amazing that I can't. That's why I don't take too much of mine and I just wait and I buy it there because they have different rules in Europe. They have different standards that are very well strict. And I love their natural products. And I love those things that we can get that really enhance your look and enhance your life in different ways. And why not try something new? Open yourself up to try something new.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they do. They have different standards. There's different things that are, restricted in the EU that aren't restricted here. So that's definitely something to think about as well. When we go, because I have family and I have two younger children, so we all go together. And again, you just kind of, as you mentioned, this capsule wardrobe and make things work. And there are definitely things that you can find there. I find better clothes there, things I can't find here as well.
Only place I can find that pants that fit.
Yeah.
Every shop that I go into in Italy, especially like Naples, I've gone into Naples or places in Puglia, the region of Puglia. I mean,
Mhm.
I never have to hem the pants. I guess everybody's my size, and I kind of like that. But it's something about their beautiful tailoring. I've even had some things handmade for me. The woman would make it right there and in the shop, and I'm like, get out of here! Like, where are you in my life?
Yeah,
So
they have good taste.
yeah, they have great taste. And, that's part of it. That's part of the culture of looking good, feeling good. They want you to look good. Like they
Hmm.
really are cheering for you and want to put looks together for you. So let them go into the
Yes.
shops and let them,
Yeah.
that is what they do best. So why not invite yourself in and join in for sure.
Absolutely. They love it when you lean on them for that because they feel like this is their calling and they're accomplished for it and they feel proud of themselves too if they can help you.
I usually just walk into the shop and just say, please help.
Yeah.
And I just gesture to my outfit and they're like, we got you. The woman will come back with like two or three items and then accessories. I bought a gorgeous belt that I got last time and it was suede, handmade, all beautiful, beautiful. So open yourself up to travel. One, two, open
Yes.
yourself up to new languages, new things, new ideas.
Ciao, Chrissy. Your Italian got so much better. Brava.
Grazie. It's because I learned the best way possible.
How so?
Well, I learned that with apps, grammar books, and even YouTube videos, I could only get so far. I had to immerse myself. I noticed I did best when I was in Italy visiting family. That's where my level really soared.
And wow, did it work?
Thanks. I became much more confident, fast. That's why I created Footsteps Through Time. It's an Italian language experience. You don't just take Italian classes, you immerse yourself in a real Italian village. With lots of fun activities and excursions, it's life-changing.
I see. So, no more boring grammar, impersonal apps, just real conversations, real culture, and delicious food, of course.
Exactly. I'm so excited about this. Learn Italian by actually becoming part of the local community for a week and living it. So if you've been dreaming of Italy and the language, check out Footsteps Through Time in Italy.com. Book now and join the experience.
Andiamo?
Chrissy, we talk about this all the time when I teach folk dance, but what do you think learning or opening yourself up to another culture brings to your life? Maybe that it's not a culture of your own.
Absolutely. I have found that, as I started to touch on before, that there's so much built in to language and things and dealing with the culture. And it makes me a better person because it makes me more empathetic. It makes me more broad-minded of the world around me, understanding of things, understanding of people. And I really think that it makes me better in some ways, as a human being, not just with the language or whatnot, but just because you start to understand people and things and places better as a whole. It makes you more, complete in this world, if you would.
And you
Towards
don't find
others.
things so strange anymore.
Right,
You
right.
know,
No, you appreciate and respect
you
and
appreciate and respect them, even if it's food, like, oh, a spice that maybe you've never had, but now you understand why they use it or the
hmm
history behind it. And maybe that connects to your life in a different way, or maybe it's just something that you've opened up your palette to try in a new way. So that's what I always say about the dances too. The dances, like you said, help you have empathy, open your mind up to being more worldly and cultural. And it's good to learn another language. Let your brain learn something new. A new skill is great to do as many as you can. But language is one of those new skills that you can tap into anytime you want. And why not?
yeah, it's like going to the gym for my brain. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's
Definitely gives it a
gymnastics for your
workout,
brain.
but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Just like dance gives your body a workout, which is a good thing, but it's a lot more, I find dance a lot more fun than just going to lift weights, as much as that's good for you. I find
Right.
it fun to do it, and dance and move and things like that. And
Yeah,
I
because it's
find,
about community. You're
right,
creating mind, body, and spirit, and that puts the spirit into your activity.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's the same reason why when I like to learn a language, I'm not a textbook kind of person. I like to be there, be immersed, and be living in it and it become a part of me, just like as you mentioned before about dance and the rhythm becoming a part of you, the rhythm of life, communicating, whether it's with words or whether it's with music or dance. So it all comes together because we're all humans and those things resonate with us in any way, any which way you do it.
For sure. Dance becomes a universal language that transcends cultural barriers. And I know it's helped me bridge gaps, cultural gaps when I travel. So, do you dance? I dance. And then they'll show you definitely steps right there, when I'm greeting someone. And while I'm in Italy, most times you're going to meet somebody from another country on top of that, just because you're in Italy doesn't mean that you're only going to meet Italians. You're going to meet French people, German people, all over the world, really. And I have lots of conversations. I try in different language. If not, they're teaching me their language while I'm sitting there waiting on a train or something. And when I say I'm a dancer, that's what I do for a living. They're like, oh, I know this dance. And they'll show me their cultural dance right there on the spot.
Right.
It becomes a conversation all of a sudden now that you have something in common with. You can learn from just from asking, well, what do you do? Who are you? Where'd you come from? And share something of your culture with me. And I think that's part of it.
I think it's beautiful. And I think it's also an opportunity for growth on both parts and mutual respect and things. And you have to think too, back in history, when the world wasn't as close as it is now with language and, with easy to translate things at your fingertips, that people were doing a lot of communication through dance and whatnot. So, I mean, you can even argue with some foods for the regions and all sorts of other things too, but because we're people that we want to communicate, even if we don't have the words to do it. So probably why Italians talk with their hands so much. But anyway.
Right. I mean, babies do that when they, you see a baby and they don't have formal language yet. They do a lot of motions, if they're sad, they're crying, or they're shaking their hands or whatever they're doing, they're expressing how they feel and what they need. That's what we do as dancers. We're telling you a story. We're expressing emotions. And on top of that, we're preserving our history and our traditions. And
I think it's so important. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And I think this is a fantastic opportunity for all of my listeners to think about your course. Now, how long? This is 1 week.
Right now, we're starting with 1 week. There's an arrival day. Actually, it's 8 nights because we have an arrival day so that people can kind of get over the jet lag and then be ready, to hit the ground running the next day. And then it's a week. Like I said, in the mornings would be classes. And then in the afternoons are going to be excursions and living in the village and being able to practice and being part of it. And there'll be other things that we'll be doing. We'll be having like, a cooking lab, or, maybe we make our own dinner and have it together. We'll be having meals with host families in their homes as well. A few students go into a few different houses, these kinds of things as well, so they can experience a lot. And the village is very, very warm and welcoming. They're obviously used to other people coming to visit from abroad, but they're also very authentic. You're going to get to see, the real Italia. You're not going to, it's going to be off the tourist trail. Now, it's not that far from Rome. So if we wanted to, we can obviously do some excursions there. But right now we're trying to keep it in this sub-region because we're in the Provincia of Frosinone is where it is. So like I said, that's outside of Rome. And actually, when you land at the airplane, there's a train that'll take you actually straight to the train station in Frosinone. And then we can, we can pick you up from the train station there and take you straight to the village. So it's, fairly streamlined.
This seems like a no-brainer, Chrissy, to me. If you want to spend a week in Italy or 8 days, like you said, and then you could go on to your other parts that you wanted to, maybe you want to go to another country or maybe another part of Italy, so be it. But this is a great way to maybe start your trip, get some language skills, get your footing, and be with others that you can help each other get around and know what's going on before maybe you adventure on your own. So I think this is a great idea. Chrissy, what do you think the next generation? I'm always giving them advice and trying to help guide them, and this is a journey and in general of life, but you're talking about a specific journey. What advice can we say to that next generation? I know you have 2 young ones that are high school age.
Not yet.
Almost. Okay. Well, what can we tell that next generation? What kind of advice can we give them to make it through a journey?
Right. So I tell them all of the time, and we're trying to expose them to as many things as we can, and the things that we're obviously trying to do, whether it's with work or personal. So we're trying to expose them to things. Generally speaking, for them to always be, humble and open and know that history is important. Not to be for us to be stuck in, of course, but to us to learn from and move forward with, because this is a journey of life, and that's our purpose here, to grow and to learn and to move forward with everything that life gives us. That's usually kind of the general theme that I'm going to talk to them
and
about.
just be open to learning new things.
Absolutely.
I know it's scary. Even as a dancer, we get kind of a little nervous to learn maybe a new genre or new style or walking into a new studio. But soon enough, as soon as you take that step, you're going to make friends, you're going to meet new people, and you're going to find that you like trying new things because now you have a bigger palette or a bigger repertoire, as we say in dance world, to pull from and to understand maybe something that was confusing at first for you, but now has clarity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I tell them all the time how the mindset is the most important thing. You can only control yourself in this world and how you react to things. So that's the biggest thing that you have is your mindset, and that everything, and I know it's cliche, but whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger, but it's true. And there are some things that, as you mentioned, can actually you allow them better things and lead to other things and bring you joy and expansion and all of this wonderfulness. And if you have that mindset that that's how you're going to go out and conquer the world and whatever it's about, then you're more than halfway there, right?
Look, I always love more people in my circle of dance. So it just means that I've made more friends and there's more hands to help and hold, right?
Yeah.
Chrissy, tell us where we can be a part of this journey with your company, and what's your website so we can book a trip?
Absolutely. So the website is footstepsthroughtimeinitaly.com. It's all one word, and you spell through actually all the way out. So footstepsthroughtimeinitaly.com. And if you go on there, all the information is actually on the website. And usually what we do, the program that we have is for when you're there, not for the airline tickets themselves, just for some clarity. But everything is on our website where you would call us and then we would book with you. We'll test like your language level. I shouldn't say test because I don't want to scare anybody, but just kind of review it so that we know best, where to put people, because we're trying to start with people that have a little bit of just, have started the language and have a little bit of an understanding of the language. And then therefore they can get the most out of actually living in this place. Everything is on there. You give us a call, we review everything with you, and then you can, since it's a certain sum, it's not something you can just put in the cart. So that's why we'll actually have you call us. You can go through that way. We'll send you the link and pay everything, and we'll organize it all.
And trust me, it's nice to talk to somebody on the phone.
Yes.
We don't live in that time period anymore, I guess. Everything's a la carte. And like you said, check out here, check out there.
Right.
But I'm sort of the same way. Sometimes, I have my website, annaharsh.com, where you can book dance classes and things. But if you're booking for a festival or a bigger event, I love those phone calls because I want to cater and make it really special for that occasion and for that person individually. Chrissy, I think this is a fantastic idea. I can't wait to collaborate with you.
I appreciate it, Anna. Thank you.
I know we're going to do so many great things. And if anybody else wants to jump on our sponsorship train and be a part of what Chrissy and I are going to start developing together, feel free to reach out. Thanks everyone for listening today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Anna Harsh, your host. And until next time, keep moving on the dance floor.